Here we are at the start of turn 3, and at the beginning of each turn is when the research happens with the BBR rules. And when you go through the first 3 phases and you get here to the H, that's when you actually start paying money based off of the dice. This first time you get here, we're going to roll a dice. 2, you pay $2. 6, you pay $6, but you get your research. So let's start off with Germany here. Well, they didn't get it, but they have to pay $4. Japan, they have to pay $2. So no one's got it yet. Who's here? Russia, $2 for Russia. And oh, there's the best one right there. U.S. $1. If you're not going to get your research, $1. $1. So much better for the Allies than the Axis on the dollars spent there. So I had to do that first because I can't do all the buys because I didn't know how much it was going to cost for the research. So now I can deduct these from the cash that each nation has, do the buys, and then we'll be back with Germany, turn 3 for them. And the next time the research comes around at the beginning of round 4, it is when you buy, like if you were going to use all 5 dice, you spend $5, you roll it, if you get a 5 or 6, successful. So there's a little bit of extra grace there at that point, because you've got a 5 or a 6 to be successful on the research. So let's put a pause on this, and I'll get everyone's buy done and start Germany's turn. Research is done. There are the buys. Britain's still stocking up on infantry to protect the home territories. Canada is sitting on its money this turn because of those 2 German subs that can sink anything they can put there. And US already changed its buy to include a bomber, assuming they will be getting the heavy bomber technology next turn. And as you can see, the red arrows, Operation Barbarossa is beginning early. Technically, I guess this turn would be still 1940. But got everything in the board there. Can't really get that dice tray. Don't want to cover up Normandy there. We're going there as well. Alright, let's get some rolling. Well, I guess I got to move the pieces here. So from here, we're going to have 2 fighters with a 4 left. 2 artillery from Paris. This other territory, Normandy, has an infantry, artillery, and a Stuka. So we're going to risk it with that AA gun in there. We're going to leave southern France to the Italians. These units are just non-comming. I am going to leave these ships alone this turn because I do have to use all those planes here so I can send these tanks over to the Eastern Front. Bessarabia, everything we got is going in there. It's only defended by 1 guy, so that shouldn't be. I'm not really sure why my radio just randomly started up there with a commercial. That's nice. I don't even know where that commercial's coming from. Turn the speaker off. And there wasn't anything playing on my phone. That was really weird. All right, back to here. All right, so everything from Romania heading into Besabaria. We are going to take one infantry in there with these two, or that fighter and Stuka. Fighter and Stuka coming over from Eastern to the Baltics with one infantry. Oh, I forgot. We wanted two infantry because we want to make sure we get this block here in Eastern Poland. There's two heavy tanks and a mech. I don't think they would go in there, but to cause some chaos if I didn't get that with the one guy, but I don't want to have to defend everything just in case. Oh, but then there would be a tank over here too, so. Alright, no attacks up north. Gonna non-com one of my subs up into the Lend-Lease zone. And that should be it. So we'll start here in Belgium with 2 2s and 2 3s and one hit. The French forces with 2 2s back get one. All right, so now we're running the risk of not taking the territory, which is okay because I'm not going to lose a plane for it. So here's the German roll, gets a hit. All right, French roll, survey. Oh, France keeps the territory. Well, that is a stinker. All right, Normandy will have a anti-aircraft shot. Misses, thank you. That would have been painful. And we can't do a target select because of the anti-aircraft gun. So we have a 3 and 2. You know what, I should have put that Stuka up here since I couldn't do the target select. That was a miss on my part. 2 hits, and that is 2 units there, but one of them is an anti-aircraft. Oh, they got one back. So France defended itself well here at the end. Alright, they managed to destroy 3 units of the 4 land units that attacked, so kudos to France. Alright, so Baltic. We are going to do the target select. Miss. Alright, so we have a infantry and a fighter. Uh-oh. Russia defends. No, they don't. Alright. So now I got 2 3s. And a 1, so that gets a hit. So round 2. Alright, so Russia holds on to the Baltic. Alright, same thing going on here in Eastern Poland. Target select misses. Thanks for your non-participation. So I got 2 1s and a 3. That fighter, 1 hit. Russia gets a hit. Good thing I brought 2 guys in there. So really the German offensives here in this round, they're taking a lot of casualties. I'm just going to roll that Russian because that is overwhelming force. No hits. Alright. Alright, I believe that is it for the attacks. Alright, so this one chip here was an infantry. Let me put an infantry there. Alright, so for the non-com, let's do what's up here in Europe first. We're going to come up here to this Lend-Lease zone to block off the Lend-Lease up here. Russia will move its sub and attack, and it'll submerge. It'll still get its Lend-Lease, but I bought a destroyer, so the sub will be out and be destroyed next turn. In theory, of course. Alright, planes just return. Alright, these 2 planes are going to land in Poland because we are stacking a bunch of guys in Poland. Alright, these planes here will head back to Romania. Alright, so I've got these guys splitting. I'm going to send 3 into Romania and 2 down to Greece. So get those yellow arrows out. They're really hard to pick up off the board. I thought I'd put them upside down because they actually show up better, but the angle is slanted so that you can't really pick them up when they're upside down. So I'll have to get that later. All right, so I got 1 infantry. He's going to march down. This is an infantry here. He's going to slide up. All right, so we're going to drive this 2 spaces and march this one. So we got 2 anti-aircraft guns in there. One of them's mobile, but they both fight the same. We're going to leave that one back. This was a nothing happened there. Get that out of the way later, I guess. All right, this anti-aircraft mobile one is going to head back, and we're going to get ready for at some point when the U.S. or Britain comes. We'll be able to use that if we need to. All right, so that is all the units. I still have these in Berlin, and my 2 bombers are going to take those 4 infantry for a ride along with these 2 planes. I think we'll just take 1 and 1 up here to Normandy. So that's an infantry there. And we will use the rail. No, we're not going to use the rail. We're going to move them into there. That'll give them some flex. Well, maybe not. If they come into the Baltics, I might need it up there. So let's leave it up here in the Baltics, or in Warsaw to counter the Baltics. All right, so let's bring this other sub in here. Well, I'm building a destroyer there, and I got those fighters for a scramble. I don't believe there'll be any action there. But let's turn the camera to the North Africa, because we've got 1 bomber coming down here into Alexandria with 2 guys. The other bomber is bringing the other 2 guys up here to Syria. And on a non-com, when you're transporting infantry, the max you can transport to 1 territory is 2. So that's why they're split up. Fighter and Stuka are going to fly down from Romania, 1, 2, 3, and 4 into Alexandria. All right. Now we should be good for oh, one we missed. I don't know if it is in here. I had it marked, so good thing I had that. So I got 4 tanks and a mech from Paris will come through northern Italy into Yugoslavia. All right. There is that. Now I will place some units which will be another sub, destroyer. I'm going to put a transport down here in the med so we can support those guys. We're going to put 2 more units there, so we'll put an infantry and an artillery. Alright, fighter in Western Germany for the air base. 2 infantry in Western Germany. We're going to put 5 in Germany and 2 tanks. Alright. We're golden there. Germany only gained $1. Bessebrita is worth nothing. Oh, I take that back. They gained 2 from Normandy. Germany up 3, Russia down 1. So that puts Germany at 39, and they lose their objective for not at war with the Soviet Union. So that didn't work out so well on the Baltic there. But I was okay if I didn't take it. Alright, so done there. Let's move this up a little bit to encompass Russia. Let's see what they got going on here. I need to go a little closer, I think. Alright, Russian counterattack. Is that even possible? Not with only one tank available. How many infantry are there? Ooh, that's 7. That's 2 greens. 7, 9, 10. 5 tanks. Yeah, that ain't happening. Alright. Russia does have the option in the BBR of retreating factories, and normally there is one here, but on the 39 setup there isn't, so I would have paid $1 to retreat it back. But we will not do that. However, we will go into the pro-Axis Northwest Iran. That will be a $3 or 3 IPC a national objective for Russia. And everything else will be just move. Now, you know what? We're going to give this a shot here to make the Germans take it back. So we got that fighter, tactical. So we'll do a first strike. We'll see if that hits. It doesn't. All right. Well, that was silly. I don't know if this is going to work. It didn't work. Nothing happens. Alright, so I don't like rolling on the map. Oh, it's really not doing any good. Uh-oh. I wonder if Russia should back out. It's because it's not really going to gain them much. Well, all those German tanks could blitz up to here. But I don't know why they would. Alright, we'll go one more round. Certainly they can get a hit. There we go. Took 3 rounds to get a hit. And there we go. Alright. So they lost a guy, killed a German guy, took the territory back. That was pretty weak. Alright, the planes will head back to Leningrad. So there really isn't much of an opportunity here for the Germans to hit Leningrad this turn. I think we'll move these out to block, because even if they were staying there, there would be no scramble, because Russia can't afford to lose those planes. There's no tanks, so there's no blitzing going on, so I don't need to put a guy in the Baltics other than to make them attack like they did last turn. Alright, so these are safe. We're going to back these up. We're going to leave infantry. Hate to abandon the Ukraine, but just gonna not really much of an option right now. Alright, so let's set up for an attack in the south here. We got 2 guys that we can rail. We will rail him down here to Rostov. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, the sub was going to come out. The German sub will submerge. Alright, so the Lend-Lease is on both sides. Let's roll, see what that Lend-Lease is. It's a 3. I have to go get the card. Soviet Lend-Lease. A 3 is a tank, an Archangel, or 3 IPCs for the Pacific Aid. Well, you can do the math. 6 is better than 3. So we'll take that tank up in Archangel. Alright. Well, that is the end of Russia's. Oh, I gotta put their stuff out. So they're starting to accumulate some forces here in the south. I'm going to put an artillery in each factory. Heavy tank up there. Make sure I get 2 guys up here for that bomber, which hasn't done anything yet this game. 2 more guys there, 2 guys in Stalingrad. And then on the far east, I'm going to rail 1 guy back to Moscow, and everything else is going to stay put. Alright, that will be the end of that round for Russia. Britain will be up next. I will move the camera and see what they're going to do. And we'll be back here in a second. Well, another battery bit the dust. I think all the combat was done, and I just started moving some units. We're going to move this destroyer up to the big group. Since Germany only has 2 transports, and we did buy some more guys for England, we're going to fly 2 fighters down to that carrier. And that's about it for... oh, we're going to move this Navy over here. So I think we're just going to have to reside the fact that this is going to be a Navy to defend against Japan. We're going to move 1 guy into French into China, 2 guys into Shan State, and that's about it over there. No need to see that. A destroyer is going to come over to Singapore from Australia. So Britain actually does have quite a few ships there in the Indian Ocean, so Japan's going to have to be wary of that. Alright, so in placement, gotta reach across the table. I got 5 guys for Calcutta, 5 guys for London, and a tank and a mech down here in South Africa. Alright. I think London's safe. Now Italy is up. Let me see what is in the viewfinder here for Italy, because I'll move this forward again. Alright, Italy. Alright, so let's see. Britain here has 2. So they're going to have 5, basically 5 infantry and 2 tanks and an AA gun. Trying to see if I could send these planes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have to land back in Syria. Because if I can take Iraq and Egypt, that's going to be a huge victory for Italy. Alright, so I've got these guys up here. 2 transports can go to Greece and back. So I'm wondering, do I bring 2 artillery or 1 artillery, 1 tank? I think I want to bring the artillery. So these are amphibiing here, because I think that tank's going to head up to aid Russia. Not aid Russia, aid Germany in Russia. Alright, let me put that. So we're going to come in there. So over here we've got 4 infantry, 2 mechs, artillery, and a tank. Alright, so they'll have the bombardments for the 3 ships. So if we spare these 2 planes to go into Iraq, they'll have 1 movement left. 2, 3, 4. This fighter will have 1 movement left to join Egypt. And that bomber, 1, 2, 3, 4, will have 3 left. Alright. That is, oh, I forgot. We've got southern France. I wonder if I should send that bomber up there. Because the bomber only gets 1. Let's do the bomber up in southern France just so that I can park it back in southern Italy, and it'll be able to move some paratroopers next turn. Alright, so southern France, oh, it is in the frame. Alright, so if I put the dice tray here, can't really see it, but that's just going to have to work. Alright, so let's do southern Italy first. We're going to have artillery and a man, and 2 at 1. The bomber only gets 1 round. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, no hits. Southern France, okay, they have no hits back. Alright, so the bomber is out. There's 1 hit. What did the French do? 1 hit back. Alright, so let's get rid of the dice on each one of those. Southern France is now Italy's. They only lost 1, so that wasn't too bad. Get rid of that chip. Bomber will head back there. Alright, so which battle? Let's do the small one first. So we've got 3 at 1. We have a tank, a fighter, and I'm not going to do a target select because I want that 4, even though Britain does have a tank. Or that would be, you know what? Let's do a target select on that tank. Oh, okay, so maybe that paid off. Alright, so here's the rest of the roll. 1 hit. So that leaves Britain with an infantry and an artillery after this roll here. They get 1, so Italy loses an infantry. Alright, Italy's second round, 1 hit. Britain returns, 1 hit. Alright, drop out another infantry for each, 1 hit, and Britain gets nothing on the end. Alright, so Italy does take it with infantry and an armor, so that'll work out. Russia won't be able to really counter it. Well, Germany can move 2 guys in there if they need to. Alright, so here we have a bombardment of a 2 3s and a 4. Let's just do that now. 1 hit. Alright, so that'll be the casualty. Sorry, Anzac. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have 4 at 1. We have 3 artillery, so then we'll have 6 at 2. We have a fighter and a tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well that was a pretty darn good roll. So that gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 twos. Whoops! Forgot about that anti-aircraft gun there. So we'll roll that and see if it gets a hit. It didn't. But that will be a casualty, which puts that tank back in there. Alright, so 5 twos. Nice. Alright, 5 twos, 2 threes. 4 back, so that was punishing. Alright. So 3 of the 4 infantry are dead. Or 4 of the 5 infantry, I should say. Alright, so they got 2 tanks left for Britain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they'll have 6 twos, 2 threes. 4 hits, so plenty there. Italy 1. Alright, or Britain 1, so that plane will have to land there in Alexandria with the Germans. Alright, these planes have to land in Syria. So Britain will be down to 4. I'll have to get some Italian markers. And Italy goes up 7. Because they have southern France, which France doesn't have an economy, so nobody cares about that. Alright, so those are there. We're going to drive that tank up into Romania. And that is the only. I'm going to bring this destroyer down here and join the crew. Get my purchased units, place them. I bought a transport thinking that if Cairo fails, I would at least have another round with the transport and then the bomber carrying 2 guys. But that was not necessary. Alright. That is their purchase, their buy. They are all done. France's turn now. What will France do? Well, I guess they might as well walk into Libya. Not real excited about it. We'll send those 2 guys in there. That's there. We're going to retreat that destroyer back 1. And I think that is it for France. Canada, they are doing nothing because they saved their money, and those 2 German subs up there could wipe out that destroyer that they do have if they wanted to go back with those transports. So Anzac on this side really no attacks, because they're not going to declare war on Japan. So move that up a little bit. So this transport will come here, grab these two guys, and go into Dutch New Guinea. This transport is just heading up, and then they will buy their, or put their purchases out. And in the 1939 setup, Anzac has a factory over here in New Zealand, so we'll build a transport there to bring those two guys over. Put those in New South Wales, and they will collect their $14, and then we will head into Japan's turn. Now here's Japan's turn 3. They will not attack the Allies. So it is pretty much hit the Chinese. That'll be a walk-on. We're going to bring a bomber down with 2 paratroopers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he'll have 2 left over. We'll land him up here and place that. Yeah, you know what? Let's land him in Kiansu. Alright, so 2 there. Those two, all these guys. We are going to go in there with as much as we can. Those 2 guys are going to go there. This tank and this truck can make it as well. So we're going to try and hold that and force China to do something that it doesn't want to do. So we've got 3 planes that will move 2. And we got 3 planes that will move 2. The only reason I'm taking that is to do a target select. The rest will be non-com. Alright, so first Chinese, target select. Missed. Alright. China's going to just assume that they're going to get a hit with all that other stuff. Miss. So he is out of there. Let's see, put him over there. Alright, so the next one, target select. Misses. Alright, so I got 2 3s and 2 1s. I will have to roll that one in Szechuan. 1 hit. Because that could have easily gone the other way. Nothing back, so Japan loses nothing this turn. Good for them. Alright. So Japan will go up 5, which is going to really put the punishment on China. They're down to 3. Alright, so these planes can move 2 back, so they have to land there. Well, they could land in Yunnan, but we're going to drive that mobile anti-aircraft gun. So that Flying Tiger, if they do take a counterattack shot. Alright, we're going to land these planes back here instead. This bomber is going to come down here. We can railroad these 2 guys. We're going to railroad 1 up to Sharjah because we had that before we started. And 1 down to Yunnan. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So let's send the carrier, destroyer, cruiser back home. We have 1 transport that's going to come all the way down here with an artillery, 2 infantry. And then these 2 transports, I'm going to leave 1 here, send 1 north. And we're We're going to bring these fighter and tactical back to Japan. March that artillery over there. I'll leave those there for now. That way they can go Russia or... Yeah, but if I move them up there and I want to go Russia, Siberia, they can reach from there. That's pretty much it for Japan. I'll place out their reinforcements. 2 tanks and an infantry. Another destroyer, 2 artillery, 3 infantry. Alright. That will be it for Japan. China, do they want to counterattack? Certainly not in the middle there. Guess maybe we can... what to do? I think maybe it's best to pull back and make Japan come after them at this point and wait for Britain or Russian help. Chinese purchase was 2 cavalry. Oh, well then I want to leave that guy there, or does it matter? That doesn't matter, because they can blitz all around them. I'd have to spread them out. Okay. China's holed up at the end of their territories. And the US, by gosh, what will they do? They're not at war. So they're just gonna send... let's look at the Japanese fleet here. 2 carriers, battleship, 5 destroyers, 2 cruisers, and then 2 subs. That is enough probably to annihilate that US fleet there, isn't it? Huh. Well, there's only 1 destroyer that can bolster that up. Much as I hate to do it, I can't afford losing the fleet though. So we're going to pull everything back but a destroyer, just because. Let's pull that bomber back. You know what, let's leave 1 sub. They've got only 1 transport that can reach there, so they're not going to be able to take Honolulu. Alright, well, the Americans, sensing that Japan may be preparing for Pearl Harbor, moves their fleet. And on this side, the only thing is I've forgotten for 2 turns about this cruiser here in the Panama Canal. He'll head up here. And then we will place our purchases. And that will be the end of this turn. Alright, so... Uh-oh. Man down. Man down. Alright. So we've got a bomber. A transport. And a tactical for that carrier. And then 2 infantry that I'm going to put on this other side so that that bomber can transport along with the naval transport if the need should arise. Alright, so if we look at, let's get that dice tray out of the way there. There's your ending IPCs for the end of round 3. US does go up to 52 now. So I have to give them their extra cash. And then there are your national objectives. Italy and Russia seem to be raking it in there a little bit. And we'll move on to turn 4.